So a few months ago I uploaded a video talking about all the classics that I want to read in the next few months, and you guys seem to really like it, so today is kind of part 2 in the classics series, I guess. These are classics that are considered, well, my favourite classics basically. Part 3 will be classics that I dislike. I don't know when that's coming, but it'll come sometime. So I have my pile of classics here. Oh, sneak peek of one of them there. So I'm just going to talk about when I read them, why they're my favourite, etc, etc. The first one is a bit more of an obscure classic. I don't feel like it's mentioned that often on BookTube. I feel like it should be. It's Giovannis Room by James Baldwin. I have this awful cover because I bought it from a charity shop. It's got rips in it and it's just, ugh. If I could get rid of it, I would. But it's such a good book that I haven't. I read this for the first time at the beginning of the year, I think, and I loved it so much. The story centres around a young man named David, who is a young American. He goes to Paris waiting for his fiancée to return from Spain. There he meets Giovanni, who is this very handsome Italian barman. They start an affair and it ends pretty terribly. It's set in the 1950s. It's just a fantastic book. I just felt the character's heartbreak so much. I was like, oh, this is sad. It's very, very short, so definitely want to check out and read. The next one I would say would probably be my first classic that I ever read. This is one of my mum's favourite books, so I've just always read it as a kid, and it is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I have this gorgeous, gorgeous edition that's featured in many of my videos. It's got the deckled edges and the sewn detailing. Oh, I love it so much. The story, I'm sure you all know, centres around 4 sisters, and it's a coming of age story, but I just love it so much. The characters are fantastic. I've read it so many times that when I go back and read it, it feels very familiar and it's nice and homely. You know, sometimes I stick on home movies when I'm ill and I watch like funny clips of you know, my brother when he was 5 and he was, you know, running around naked on the beach or whatever. This is what I would consider my comfort read, and it's not particularly small, but it's just wonderful. It's such a good classic and definitely one everyone should check out. The next book I have to mention is Emma by Jane Austen. Now I'm not the hugest Jane Austen fan actually. I've read Emma, Pride and Prejudice, Northanger Abbey and Mansfield Park, and you know, I enjoyed them. Pride and Prejudice was great. Emma was fantastic. Northanger Abbey and Mansfield Park I could take or leave. They were okay. I'd rather read Charlotte Bronte, I think, than Jane Austen. But Emma is so, so good. It's great that it's based around a kind of strong female character, and I love it. I love her, and definitely want everyone to check out. Beautiful, beautiful edition as well. So just to have that on your shelf is worth buying it, I think, really. The next book, I think, is the one that receives very mixed reaction when people read it, especially after watching the Disney film. It's so different from the Disney film. I think people expect it to be closer to the film, so I don't think they're kind of ready for the darkness of the book, and I think sometimes that surprises them, which makes them not enjoy it as much. I personally love it. I think it's great. I did read it after the film. I read it about 3 years ago and loved it. It's Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. It is very dark. It's not, you know, light and fluffy, follow the leader stuff that's in the Disney film at all. Peter Pan can be considered quite a dark character actually. Fairy tales are dark, that's the thing. The Little Mermaid ends by her throwing herself in the water and turning to sea dust. Spoilers. So this is kind of like that. If you like something kind of dark and twisted, then definitely check this out. The next book I absolutely love to pieces, and I try to read it every October. Usually either read it or watch it in some fashion. Last year I watched the Danny Boyle theatre production of this book and it was fantastic. It blew me away, and it is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Just such a good book, just such a good starting point as well. If you are, you know, if you haven't delved really far into sci-fi, it's definitely one to check out. It's a great introduction to that kind of thing. I don't know if it's sci-fi. I'm guessing, yeah, you could class it as sci-fi. Gothic, that's the word, not sci-fi, gothic. Again, very gothic, very dark, but perfect for kind of Halloween time, especially like now when summer's kind of finishing. We've only got a couple of weeks of summer left, when it's starting to kind of get darker nights and stuff. Definitely one to read. And again, pretty sure I'm sensing a pattern. Maybe I didn't like longer classics, who knows. The next two are F. Scott Fitzgerald books, and they are The Great Gatsby and This Side of Paradise. And I couldn't choose between them. I really love both of these. The thing with his books is they're all very similar. They all have a very similar premise. You know, rich people in the 1920s and stuff, and romance and jazz, and it's all the same, you know, but it's great. The formula is fantastic. It's like that old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I have started The Beautiful and the Damned, which I got about 100 pages in and put it down for some reason, so I'll have to pick that up soon. But these are great. I mean, this one especially, it's almost the definitive kind of classic. Love the story. Beautiful quotes. I wrote so many quotes from this book down. I have a little journal where I keep all my like nice quotes from books, from films, whatever, and so many from here went in that journal. It's so good. I also thought I'd sneak a bit of Shakespeare in there. I'm not the biggest Shakespeare fan, but I do love reading plays, and this is definitely one of my favourites of his, and it is A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's nothing like Hamlet, it's nothing like Macbeth, the big heavy plays. It's a comedy basically. It includes magical realism, fairies, things like that, so if that's more your cup of tea, then I think you'll really enjoy this. And again, it's a very easy read. You know, a lot of people think Shakespeare's language isn't particularly accessible to, you know, not experienced readers, but it really is. It just, you know, just takes some getting used to really. Once you're into the swing of it, it's a really good read and definitely worth checking out. Like I say, I haven't read so many classics. I really want to read Rebecca at some point. I Captured the Castle's really high on my list. I really want to read Dracula pretty soon, so all these, you know, could come quite high on this list, but I just haven't read them yet. So who knows, maybe I'll do an updated version of this in like a year or so. But for now, these are my favourite classics and I love them all immensely. That's all from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what are your favourite classics down in the comments, or maybe some classics that you're hoping to read. And like I say, hopefully my hated classics video will be uploaded soon, hopefully. So yes, I will see you in my next video. Bye!